Café Anyway. It's Mike Matthews at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valentino.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 2848. That's great. Okay, I'm singing, and that's what I do at the beginning of every show. I'm bringing you this song, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you don't mind that I don't video this thing, because it would be not visually entertaining.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But audio-wise, wow, this is something else. This is amazing. I don't understand why so many people want to watch people doing podcasts. It's just a couple of people talking into microphones. What the heck? Why is that entertaining? When there's people driving across this great country with amazing, huge, what's the word I'm looking for? Cameras, though, that are so technically, beautifully intricate that could pick up the most expansive. They just look great. Oh my gosh, it's like you're there, driving along, seeing. I was watching one video of a guy going to Badlands there, at the Death Valley. It's the lowest place. It's below sea level. It's like one of the lowest places on Earth. And he was there filming it, just walking around, not shaking his camera because that makes me it makes me very ill. I get the motion sickness. And then just filming all these amazing places that I've never been to, that I should go to, that I don't necessarily want to go to. I don't want to go someplace that is so hot. The temperatures there get crazy high above 100 degrees, and I don't like that. Neither does my lovely lady friend. But it's neat to see all these things. So why are people just watching people talk into microphones?
And here's today's podcast picture.
There was a fascination about that with Howard Stern, but he would bring in celebrities, women, etc. I won't go further than that. Then there was the Don Imus show, where it just showed him talking into a microphone. That was boring as paint drying. Why? The podcast picture is not of paint drying, or not of the late great Basil the Boxer. But it's a beautiful area that I'm sure he would have loved to have gone to. It's near Pescadero in California, driving through the mountains there. And I don't have one of those super high-tech cameras, HD quality cameras. I was using my phone camera, but it's a pretty nice picture. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com as I continue on with my ridiculous random posts and wondering why people watch those type of videos. And people say, when I tell them I have a podcast, oh, where can I watch it? No, there's nothing to watch. It's something to listen to.
It's pretty interesting.
That's all I have to say about that. No, it's not. I'll probably bring it up again a million other times on a million different podcasts, but whatever. I was thinking about derivatives trading today, because that was a big thing. You remember about 15 years ago, around the time of the big credit crisis, the big the housing bust, the
Myclopedia Insanika.
Looking at my Encyclopedia Insanika, or something like that, Myclopedia Insanika. I remember there was a cousin of, I was married back then. The cousin of my wife then, she was dating a guy who was into derivatives trading. He was a young guy, and he was pretty rich. He was making big money off of this stuff. But there was all that talk about, that was one of the things that brought down the market.
Rip someone a new one.
Did you bring down the market, derivative trading? Certainly, I can't understand you. I look at this definition. Difficult word to say. Derivatives trading involves creating contracts between two or more parties with the value of these contracts derived from an underlying financial asset. Okay. This is crazy. This is like Las Vegas nutsy. Let's bet on if the janitor walks out of there with a mop,
Yo, the mic tip.
or a cut off hand. You know what? Sorry. I just got finished watching that Las Vegas centric. It took place in Las Vegas. That show called, what is it? Exploded or Obliterated. That's it. It's not being renewed for a second season, but the 8 or 9 episodes that it contained was violent, crazy. It was a comedy, but it was over the top.
Scavenger hunt.
I'm hunting for the right words to say about this thing. But it made me laugh in a couple parts, but I certainly can see why it's not going to be renewed. When every single one of the main actors got nude at some point. So, but it had, is it C. Thomas Howell?
The nosebleed section.
This is interesting news. Yeah, he was in that movie Secret Admirer and that awful, awful movie that we shall not speak of called Soul Man. But yeah, he was a big teen star in the mid-'80s, I remember being dragged to movie theaters. Because when you're a teenager, you're dragged to movie theaters. Hey, let's go see this movie. It's the biggest thing. Because kids are susceptible to hype, which is why they do things like protest bizarre things. Because nowadays, more than ever, the hype is hitting them with such velocity.
Wow, just wow.
And I must say, and somebody pointed this out today, that I was listening to his show, and he was saying, hey, part of the reason why it's our fault, us older folk, because the younger people that, let's say, were our kids, or they are our kids. There, I said it. They were often handed some kind of device to keep them entertained, which made them more or less.
Everybody make some noise!
Here's this person saying something nice about me. Hold
Bringing
on.
to you
What?
live
Yes.
from
Podcastro Valley.
Podcaster Valley Mont. Mike's Daily Podcast.
Let's just say that all this technology made everybody socially awkward. So, even though, ironically enough, it's called social media. So, at any rate, what I'm saying is, as I bump my head here at Café Anyway, ouch, maybe that'll help. We had this thing called derivatives. Oh, and by the way, that cousin of my then wife, she dumped that guy. So maybe that just ties it all in a bow. She had enough of him. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
What's the cliche of the week?
That's what this is.
What's the cliche of the week?
Podcastro Valleyton.
What's the cliche of the week?
And Mike not being
What's the cliche of the week?
recorded with a camera, but with a microphone. And we're okay with that at the moment. Hey, that's fast. Did you know we're still moving? I love how this person, Ray Pedalin, pointed this out from CBS.
What's the cliche of the week?
And he's in Pittsburgh.
What's the cliche of the week?
Fast is a relative term.
What's the cliche of the week?
We are moving fast.
What's the cliche of the week?
You are right now, even if you're not listening to me in a car or jogging or running really fast or on a bike or anything like that. The Earth is rotating. It is what gives us our days and nights. It takes about 24 hours for Earth to make one complete rotation. At the equator, the Earth's widest part, the Earth is almost 25,000 miles around, and that means we are rotating at around 100 miles per hour. If you're standing on the equator,
Life grand.
you're moving fast. If you're listening to me at the equator. And the Earth is rotating, but it's traveling around the sun, and that takes us roughly 365 days, as you know, a year. And the Earth travels to do that, to make it around the sun in a year. It's got to go 67,000 miles per hour. So even if you're just sitting there, you're going 67,000 miles per hour. Our solar system's moving too.
Awesome.
Isn't it? According to NASA, It's moving at a velocity of 450,000 miles per hour around the Milky Way. So it takes our solar system about 230 million years for one complete trip around the Milky Way. And the Milky Way galaxy is moving around the universe too. We're inside a thing going inside a thing, inside a thing, inside a thing that's moving. Yes.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
This is my useless review about all of this. The Milky Way galaxy is hurling through the universe at 1.3 million miles per hour. And Elon Musk wants to make a spaceship to get the heck off the planet? We're already a spaceship. We're already flying through the universe. We're a spaceship inside a spaceship inside a spaceship. Because everything else around you is moving that fast and is held together thanks to gravity, we don't notice that whopping speed. Thank you, gravity.
Fair and unbalanced.
And you may not notice it, but just by sitting on the couch, you're moving 1.3 million miles per hour. Thank you so much to Ray Petalin for pointing that out from CBS News in Pittsburgh. Pointed that out. And my computer froze, but even though it froze, it's still moving at 1.3 million miles per hour. I once had an idea for a sci-fi novel or book where a guy invents, instead of inventing a time machine or something that can go the speed of light, I know that's
All right,
possible.
Let's go.
Maybe someday. He came up with a device that was the ultimate brake. It would brake. It would stop. It would stop all motion going anywhere. Just stop. If you were inside this device, you would just stop. And so he hits the brakes, as it were. The galactic cosmos brakes. And he ends up like, I don't know. That part I couldn't get to. I can come up with these great premises, but then the plot, I lose it.
MTV News.
Much like this podcast.
You hear it first.
We do hear it first here on Mike's Daily Podcast. Maybe you heard it second, third, or fourth. Maybe you also heard that George Strait, I don't think he ever was on MTV, but he had a U.S. concert attendance record that he broke, even though I think his last hit song was back in 2009. It's been a while, but he is still the man. And still, I know Taylor Swift, she started in country.
Well, I like it.
The whiny white man wine list.
As I whine about how some people just, I'm not whining about Taylor Swift, but just, it is interesting how some people leave country music. They get popular and then they leave. That's always been a thing. Faith Hill left country music. It ended up biting her because it was very difficult for her to have any other country hits when she went back to country. Taylor Swift, I think she's had some country success after the pop thing, but it was very limited. But she's still, like, country stations.
If you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
They'll throw, like, tributes to her or whatever. If she comes to town, the country stations will try to cash in on it and play her older stuff. But George Strait said to a large crowd, "What's going on, everybody?" He is a man of few words. "We got some Aggies out there. Oh, yeah, I'm ashamed to say this, but this is my first time to ever be in Kyle Field. Damn, just invite me back. I'll come." This is at Kyle Field at Texas A&M.
Matthews News.
And he had a record crowd of 110,905 people. Broke records. Let's see. He has set many records in his illustrious career. The most number one singles of any artist in any genre. Take that, Taylor Swift. The only artist to chart a top 10 hit every year for 30 years, and the most number one albums, gold albums, and platinum albums in the history of country music, including 20 of his massive 60 number one hit songs. And you know me better than that.
News random.
I guess with that random bit of news, I thought you'd find that interesting. We're having some trouble here in California. I mentioned the fact that, well, things like this, for example, the gas prices, they've gone down quite a bit lately. But we had an issue where...
Right? God.
Yes, right? The gas prices, they're down from what they were a couple weeks previous, but still, if you look at the rest of the country, we are way above everyone else. But part of that issue is because, according to the National Review, California Democrats are planning to send the state's astronomical gasoline prices soaring even higher by strengthening a pair of decade-old climate policies. The California Air Resource Board, otherwise known as CARB, and in California we hate carbs, whose most senior members are appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom, is considering amending two regulations.
I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
Yes, thank you. The Low Carbon Fuel Standard, or the LCFS, and the Cap and Trade Program to help the state meet its carbon reduction goals. But in the process, gas prices will increase significantly over the next 2 years and beyond. Gas prices could increase by as much as 47 cents per gallon by next year and by 52 cents by 2026. And that may not seem like a lot, but believe me, they're going to add other things to it too. So what is going on? I know we try to do the right thing in this state. We try to be forward thinking, but we end up biting our own tails. Is that the proper expression? And in places like CVS, they're going to leave California, not because of the minimum wage thing that we had. That's causing some food places to close up in California because they can't do the minimum wage. They're franchises. They got more than one restaurant. And
this is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
They're considered a franchise, so they have to pay their employees $20 an hour at least. But this has to do with CVS. They are making drastic reforms to adjust the needs of modern online shoppers. Their rival, Walgreens, also plans to shut 150 stores as part of a modernization drive, and CVS says it will close 900 stores by the end of 2024, 10% of all its shops, as it moves to online strategy amid rampant increases in shoplifting. Yes. Rite Aid will shut down 150 underperforming stores after filing for bankruptcy. CVS is set to close hundreds of stores across the country as it undergoes a complete retail overhaul as more outlets move towards online sellers amid rampant increases in crime. They say the rampant shoplifting. The bosses said that they were undergoing a new retail footprint strategy. More shoppers are turning to buying online in the wake of the pandemic, although we've also seen a lot of stores take off in this world of buying things online. They want to go and actually see it and touch the product before they have it sent to the house, see that they don't like it, and then have to mail it back and go through that. That still has not been the most streamlined. It's been greatly streamlined from what it used to be, but still, you got to wait in line if you're going to have someone put it in the box. I know we have to wait in line because my lovely lady friend seems to be returning a lot of things, which that doesn't seem right, does it? But there'll be a mistake made by who the online seller is. Or my lovely lady friend gets the clothes, the shirt, and it's not the right color or whatever, and she wants to send it back. The major drugstore chain is coming to the end of a policy launched in 2021, which sees 300 stores closed each year, meaning 900 will have been shuttered by 2024. That story doesn't necessarily point out exactly the California shoplifting problem, but it made it seem like it was more of a national thing, but we definitely do have a problem here in California. It will always be a problem. That story from the Daily Mail. I just realized that song, Fast Car, that country singer has covered it, and he did not change that one lyric, so I work in the store as a checkout girl. I didn't realize that. Am I the last person to realize that? That song got to be huge, this remake, and in fact, Tracy Chapman came out and sang it with him. This is decades after her song was a hit. Probably, I think that was in 87, 88. So that's good for him. Making people go, what? So black voters helped Joe Biden get into the White House 4 years ago. They may not vote to give him a second term, even though they dislike Donald Trump far more. The poll of black voters, this from the USA Today Suffolk University exclusive poll, says that black voters in swing states, Pennsylvania and Michigan, they found that Biden is still the first or second choice of the mass majority, while most would avoid Trump. So take that with what you will. They say, I guess you can call us double haters, says Olivia, who's 22 from Lansing, Michigan. She goes to Central Michigan University. But the African-American sisters' votes will be amongst the most highly sought after by presidential hopefuls who may see their fortunes come down to just a few thousand votes in pivotal battleground states like Michigan and Pennsylvania. I'm not voting for Trump, but I'm not excited about voting for Biden, she said. That came from USA Today. And we're outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Look who's here. Hello, Michael Mash, this is Madame Rootabega. All of that was very interesting. Ooh. Somebody said, hey, Mike, you should video it when your characters stop by, because they would find that interesting. And they might even write a song about it and say, Mike, it's really interesting when you're talking to the microphone and suddenly these characters appear. It would be really cool if you put that on a video version of your podcast. Michael, that is the lamest song I have ever heard. Woo! Yes. Madame Rootabega, do you like Tracy Chapman? Yes. Do you like country music and George Strait? Yes. Do you like derivatives? No. George Strait. I crossed my heart and promised. Maybe we're going to hear some George Strait in this wonderful segment we call Let's Go Back with Matthews.
Let's go back with Matthews.
Cassette cubbyhole.
Yes, going to the cassette cubbyhole. I heard an article recently. I heard? Yeah, I guess I heard an article. Well, I heard it was the Marketplace radio show, and they were talking about how in some cities, I guess in Minnesota or Wisconsin, there is a music scene, indie music scene, and bands are sending people, they're selling cassettes of their albums. Cassettes. Really? And people are buying cassettes. I don't know how anybody has a cassette player. I don't know how anybody has a turntable, but people buy vinyl like it's going out of style. So, and everybody thought it was going out of style, but it's still around. So that's fascinating. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino. Breaking attention.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, what I would love to do is take one of these cassettes and put it in a cassette player and listen to it there.
Yeah, listen to it, but we don't have a cassette player. Do you know that? You know what? I do. And it's not... I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Some of these cassettes don't sound as clear as I would love them to be. But perhaps, I mean, these cassettes go way back. Decades and decades. So the recording equipment that was used to record these cassettes, I don't know how good they were. But let's go back in time to when I was first doing radio. I was in my early 20s, and I was at a radio station. My first full-time job was at a radio station in Thousand Oaks, California. And I used to do the evening shift. And of course, they would dump everything on me because I was the new guy. I was the young guy. And there would be all these Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts that would come by, these groups. And, the parents want to show them what a radio station looks like. So I would be stuck with showing these kids. And, they're just rambunctious. They're full of sugar. What's funny is the voice of the kid you're about to hear, he is probably, a derivatives trader and, a gazillionaire living on a floating house in the sky somewhere with his family. But let's listen to a little bit of this. This goes back to 1991.
92.7 FM, the home of Grown Up Rock. Mike Matthews with you on this Wednesday evening, and I'm graced again by the presence of Scout Troop 3601.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And what's your name?
Tim.
And here, come over to the microphone here. Tim, do you want to be in radio or?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, and I can imagine. What would your radio name be, Tim?
I don't know.
Tim, probably, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name?
Kevin.
Okay, and you're Scout 3601. Well, what have you liked so far about the station that you've seen? I mean, I've taken you on this tour. What else? What have you seen that's really struck you?
The recording things.
The recording things. Okay. That is impressive. And you're the other brave soul who wanted to talk on the radio. What's your name?
James.
And what are you going to be when you grow up, James? I know everybody's asking you that, but what is it now?
I want to be a football player.
A football player? Do you want to be a quarterback or a center or what?
A wide receiver.
A wide receiver. I can see you doing that. You could. Why don't you try out tomorrow for the Rams? Okay. I think you'll do fine. And everybody.
I hate the Rams.
And this one too. Hi. And what's your name?
David.
Okay. And I like your tie. And everybody scream out the number that you're with again.
3601.
3601. 1, 2, 3.
3601. Rule.
All right, it certainly does.
It's the best.
And we're going to go back into Grown Up Rock now, okay, guys? Okay, on 92.7 FM. Thanks a lot.
James hates the Rams? Wow. Well, do the Rams even exist anymore? I don't know. And then there's David, who had a tie on. That guy is in a spaceship up in the sky right now. He's Elon Musk, probably. And Tim and Kevin, I wonder if they started a radio station together. Well, then a couple years later, 1 year later, let's not go that far after that, I was at a radio station that played classic rock, actually 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s hit songs. Was what we were doing. And the station was called The Bus 96.7. It doesn't exist anymore, but here I am. I'm still in my 20s.
More than oldies, The Bus 96.7 and Redbone. Come and get your love. Mike Matthews with you. And I'm going to come and get Jim West. Jim.
Hey, it's amazing, Mike. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you today?
I just realized something, Mike. You worked there a couple of weeks now, right?
Yes.
Now you can afford a last name.
Yes, I finally got my last name.
Okay, the story behind that was they didn't want me to say my last name on the air because I was also on the other station you heard, the Grown Up Rock 92.7, and they thought for some reason that would be too confusing for the listener. So change my name on this station, which I did. I ended up coming up with, I didn't do that there. At K-Hey, I came up with Matt Michaels and flipped my name around. But there, I was like, okay, you don't want me to say my last name, so I'll be Mike the Mic, like as in a microphone. So M-I-K-E, the M-I-C. But my boss ended up hating that, so I just said, I'm just going to be Mike Matthews then. And he acquiesced.
Name after a while.
You know where we are?
Where?
Let me tell you, we're here for the first annual Ventura.
More than oldies, The Bus 96.7, Mike Matthews. Yes, I do have a last name. Just got it. Oh, here's David again. On The Bus 96.7. What are you?
Just a gigolo.
Okay.
And everywhere I go.
Oh, yeah. 2 David Lee Roth songs. One with Van Halen and one with his own self singing a cover of Just a Gigolo, I Ain't Got No Buddy. Fascinating.
Oh my gosh.
The bottom of the chart.
Pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth. But you know what? they come back up and people start playing them, and I was like, oh, where'd that come from?
1966. The Hollies on the bus, 96.7. You ain't seen nothing yet. More than oldies of us, 96.7. Mike Matthews congratulating Jeff Gomez of Ventura. Picked himself up a pair of tickets to Blue Monday. That's happening, of course, this Monday night at Alexander's in the Harbortown Marina Resort. It's Hook and the Hitchhikers. They're going to rock, and they're going to rock hard, which is the best way to rock, really. Hey, is this the Human League? Why, yes, it is. Keep feeling that fascination.
Oh, I love the Human League. Man, when I hear the Human League, I think of Fisherman's Wharf and Marina del Rey, because I remember hearing them for the first time on a radio playing at Fisherman's Wharf in Marina del Rey, and I was there, gosh, not too long ago. About 3 months ago, I was there with my lovely lady friend. I had not been to Fisherman's Wharf in decades. I'm talking 30 years, at least. So it was great to be back and walk around, and all kinds of memories of my dad and my mom came back to me. It was great. Now, speaking of Marina del Rey, the guy we were talking about earlier in the show who's broken a bunch of records, George Strait, he had a song called Marina del Rey. It was like his second single of his career. It did not go to number one as far as I remember, but it was a great song. And speaking of country music, I was then doing country music radio in about 1993. So this is, we just heard a radio station from 91, 92, and now this is where I was from 93 to about 2004, I think it was, 2005, somewhere in that time frame. But in the early O's, I was at this station, KHA, playing country music and doing the Santa Fe Cafe.
100.7 KHAY with KH's Matt Michaels.
Katie, do you miss the fair?
Do I miss it? Not really.
No?
I think it was fun just to see Travis. I thought the fair was kind of scary.
Why is it scary?
People were kind of scary.
Me? Are you talking about me, Katie?
No, the KHA booth was my favorite.
Aww.
The people were kind of scary.
Wow. Well, you know, there's all kinds of people that make up this planet.
I know.
And I got addicted to corn on the cob when I was at the fair.
Really?
I ate way too much corn, Katie.
Really? I liked the,
I still don't scare you?
No, not at all.
Gotta lay off the corn. You really... I'd draw you a diagram as to why, but it's radio. Can't do that. Trisha Yearwood, Don Henley, Tracy Bird ahead of that. Kenny Chesney is on the way next, and the KH Santa Fe Cafe, the KH Cafe question. What's your idea for a reality TV show? KH invites you to Summer Art Walk 2002 this Saturday. More than 100 Ventura County artists displaying their artwork at over 50 locations in Ventura's downtown cultural district from 3 to 9 p.m. Summer Art Walk 2002 is free and open to art lovers of all ages. It's a great event from your number one station for summer fun, KHAY, as we leave the KH studio and walk out to the Matt bus. Hello, Felix.
Yeah, where to, Matt?
The KH Santa Fe Cafe, Felix. Let's go there and...
Sit down, punk. The bus is in motion.
Oh, look, he's eating a corn on the cob while he's driving. That's pretty impressive. Mark Cohn was saying, that was music from Mark Cohn in the background. Walk through this world with me. Gosh, I love Mark Cohn. Mark Cohn almost died. He was shot in the head and somehow survived, thank God. Love Mark Cohn. Oh, and the Travis she was talking about was Travis Tritt. He came to the fair, and he was a great country artist. He's still around, but he has a lot of hair on his head. And I remember saying to him, because I was already bald at that point, and I said, wow, you've got, your head is like a hair farm. And he said, what?
We got it this time. Oh.
Hey.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to to Santa Fe Cafe.
Thank you, Joe.
100.7 KHAY Ventura.
Shania Twain on the way. Dixie Chicks. Blake Shelton with Old Red. Some Faith Hill coming up too right now. Kenny Chesney. She's got it all. The KH Cafe question. What's your idea for a reality show? 650 KHAY. Let's get this party started. Hi, this is Matt Michaels, and I've sucked another person into the KH Santa Fe Cafe.
What song? The One.
By Gary Allan?
Yeah.
You a big Gary Allan fan?
Yep.
You've seen him in concert?
Once.
You like his voice?
It's all right.
Do you want to be Gary Allan?
Nope.
Do you want to meet Gary Allan and say, Gary, your voice is, it's just all right? Do you want to do that? We can do that. We'll make a field trip.
No.
650 KHAY. 100.7 KHAY with Faith Hill. And it's Matt Michaels. I'm at the KH Santa Fe Cafe. Oh, hey. Oh, Lena. Hey.
Matthew, darling, you were singing a crazy song, but marvelous. I have out here on the dance floor Jenna and Jeremy. They are dancing like crazy one-arts.
Mm-hmm.
They are dancing marvelous. I want to tell the both of you, you're dancing much better than Matt has ever danced.
You know.
Nothing like he can't dance very well and so forth.
The cafe question, what's your idea for a reality TV show?
I think we have a dancing show where we see Matt fall down. That would be very funny.
Okay.
Be marvelous.
I didn't actually fall that time.
That was me. Ouch. That hurt.
Jenna, do you like to dance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love to dance.
What kind of lips do you like?
Kind of like medium-sized lips.
Let me ask this other caller. What kind of lips do you like?
I like shapely, luscious lips, but not when they're too big.
Oh, wow. Martina McBride!
She was the prom queen. He was the quarterback.
Oh, Martina McBride. That went an odd direction, didn't it? And then finally, I was on the radio for a short while there at B95.1 for a couple years. I think 2005, 2007, somewhere in that ballpark range. And doing the top 40 adult contemporary music.
Within the next 15 minutes, you'll have another chance to win tickets to our B Lounge, B95.1. That would be Poison. They are doing a summer tour this year. Here is the calling B95.1.
That band is called The Calling. It's not Lifehouse. Oh, Shakira!
You'll win tickets to our B Lounge with Lifehouse from B95.1.
Chad Kroeger. We were playing Chad Kroeger, who was married for a short time to Avril Lavigne.
B95.1. Instant winner. Who is this?
This is Stephanie.
Stephanie, you're caller number 9.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You're going to go to our B Lounge with the wonderful group Lifehouse. That's at the Courtyard by Marriott in Camarillo.
I'm so excited. Really cool.
Have you seen Lifehouse before?
No, I've never seen them before.
Wow, now you're going to see them up close and personal, Stephanie. It'll be great.
Cool. Thank you very much.
What radio station just hooked you up and gives you 10 songs in a row every hour?
B95.1.
Yeah, we called that a B Lounge. And it literally was a lounge built for a bee. A tiny, tiny bee. It was a tiny, tiny room. And there was Lifehouse performing acoustically. It's 3 guys. And they are from Camarillo originally. So there we were in Camarillo at this nice... It is a nice hotel. I still have a cup that they gave me from that. But it was so tiny. Ay. That didn't last too long. But I'm still sort of friends with some people that I knew from that time. So I think it's time to do the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. Here we go. Here are a couple songs that were emailed to me. Mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. I will play them for you. You tell me which ones you like better. and best and of the best, which one do you like best? What's your bestest of the three? The first one is from something called Swiftums. Swiftums. Oh, it's a guy. Let's see. Christopher McVicker could capably add a chapter or two to the omnipresent tall tale of perfect pop's supposed rebirth in 21st century San Francisco. That is assuming he could be bothered to weigh in on the subject. Still, for the last decade plus, McVicker's chosen musical guise of Swiftums has certainly been inspirational to the current pack. Let's listen to a little bit of Swiftums. Swiftums is the name of that guy, which isn't really his name, which, hey, I've done that before. Christopher is his name. But there's the Swiftums song called Falling Down. Now a Aussie psych band, Orb. They are Australian, a psych rock heavyweight. Orb releasing their new single, and it was meant to be 6 years between albums for Orb. The Guy Long Forge Trio last graced us with a studio offering in the form of 2018's characteristically heady The Space Between. Here is a little bit of their song called You Do. It is the band Orb, O-R-B. Wow. The music video looks like 1970s animation. When I was a kid, this type of cartoon was on TV all the time. Wow. Oh, very Beatlesque. Okay. They've got the video for the song You Do on YouTube. That's the Aussie band Orb. And in the third song and the last song to play for you is from the alt rock group called, let's see, what are they called? Ways in Waves is the brainchild of Brian Rain, a multi-instrumentalist and music producer living out of Edmonton, Alberta. His project combines aspects of rock, art pop, and electronic music together into a mixture that propels the listener through controlled chaos. Here is a little bit of the song called Ovum Nova by the band Ways in Waves. Wow, he's shouting right at the camera in that music video. Ways in Waves. They've got a channel on YouTube. Which one did you like best? Swiftums, Orb, or Ways in Waves? You can call me at this phone number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for All.
And with more unbelievably fantastic ways to reach me and all things Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.